Good morning, everybody. As we go to the Chitas of today, today is Monday, the second reading in the portion of Bahalaischa, chapter 8, verse number 15. The continuation of yesterday, after dedicating the Levium, and then the Levium will come, to service the Beis Hamikdash. We shall purify them. You shall lift them up as a waving. Because they are holy giving. From the midst of the Jewish nation, instead of all the opening of the womb of all the firstborn, and you shall take them to me. You shall take them to me. Rashi says Nesunim. Why is there a double expression? Rashi says Nesunim Lamasa. They are given over, so to say. They're committed. Their job is to carry the Beis Hamikdash. And Nesunim Lashir. They're also given over to sing in the Beis Hamikdash. Pitras. What means Pitras? Rashi says is the meaning of the opening. The firstborn. And the firstborn, also the law of a firstborn. It's only when it is a natural birth. The laws of the firstborn. The firstborn amongst the children of Israel are mine, and also the animal. The day that I smote all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, I sanctified themselves to me. Now she says, firstborn are mine by right, for I protected them amongst the Egyptians' firstborn, and took them for myself. They erred at the golden calf, and now I'm taking the Levium instead of them. I'm taking the Levites instead of the children of Israel, the firstborn of Israel, and then I'm going to give the Levium. The Sunim La'anim, they are given to Adam Levanov, to his children. Mitech b'nei Yisrael, from the Jewish people, to do the service of the children of Israel, Ba'el made in the tent of meeting, b'nei Yisrael, and to come and bring forgiveness of the Jewish people, b'nei Yisrael negev, and there should not be in the children of Israel an affliction, b'gashes b'nei Yisrael HaKadosh, when the Jewish children, when the Jewish people come close to the Beis Hamikdash. Now she says, it says over here, the children of Israel is mentioned 5 times in this verse, thus declaring the affection God has for them. For the mention is repeated in one verse as many times as the 5 books of the Torah. I saw this in Medrash Rabbah. What does that mean? So they will not need them to approach the holy sanctuary, for they do approach, there'll be a plague. So that's why the Levium surround the Beis Hamikdash, and they protect the Beis Hamikdash from anybody from coming into the Beis Hamikdash. So this is what Moshe Rabbeinu did with the entire Jewish congregation, Levium to the Levium. Whatever God commanded Moshe, Levium to the Levium. This is what the Jewish people did. Now she said Moshe presented them, Aaron lifted them, and the Jewish people put their hands upon them. Verse 21, the Levium cleansed themselves. They washed their clothes. And Aaron lift them as a waving. Now Hashem before God. He brought forgiveness to them. To bring them, to cleanse them. Then the Levium came and they did their service in the tent of meeting. Adam before Adam, before his children, as God commanded Moshe. Cain Asulahem, Moshe ala Levium, on the Levium, Cain Asulahem. This is what they did. Now she said, Lahav Gishvach, this is to extol the performance of rights, that everything was done upon whom it was performed, none of them objective. This was all done with peace and harmony. God spoke to Moshe saying, This is the rule concerning the Levites. Ben Chamish Vesim Shana, from the age of 25 and upwards. Yavel Tzveitzava, they come to serve Ba'aveda Seilamayid in the tent of meeting. Now she says that by a Levi, the only thing that disqualifies them is years, if they're too old or too young. But they don't have anything else that disqualifies them like a Kohen. Rashi says elsewhere, in chapter 4, verse 3, it says from the age of 30. Over here it says from the age of 25. How do you reconcile it? However, from the age of 25, they come to study the law of the service. They would study for 5 years. At the age of 30, they would begin to work. From here we learn that a student who does not experience success in his learning in 5 years will never experience it. So if the Levi couldn't get the Avodah within 5 years, basically at 30, he was disqualified. So he had 5-year practice. By the age of 50, he retires. Avodah, it doesn't work anymore. What kind of work doesn't he work? Rashi says the work of carrying on the shoulders. However, he can return to the work of locking the gates, singing, and loading the wagons. So that he's not obligated to carry anymore. So, to the Yid for 50. This is the meaning he shall minister with his brethren, his brothers, that he's allowed to he can continue to do certain avodah in the Beis Hamikdash. Verse 26, and he shall minister with his brothers, he shall serve with his brothers in the tent of meeting, lishme mishmeres, to keep in charge, but he cannot do physical labor. This way he should do to Levim, in their charge. Now she says, camp around the tent, to assemble, to dismantle at the time of travel. And that completes the Chumash for today. We now go to the middle of the 3rd chapter of Tanya. Alter Rebbe proceeds to demonstrate how this is true in creatures that appear to be tangible by means of an illustration. An illustration of this is the light of the sun. That's why Chassidus gives a lot of the example of Ur Hashem. We call it the Ur Ein Sof. Ur is an important word, and we give it a lot of the Ur HaNeshama, Ur HaTorah, Ur HaVaya. We have all this concept of Ur, because there's a great example, there's a great illustration for the concept of the sun and the ray of the sun. So you have a Chassidus, Ur and Ma'or. The Ur is the light, the ray of the sun, and then you have the Ma'or, the illuminary. The Shemesh itself. Ur HaShemesh, for example, the illuminates, illuminates to the earth and all its inhabitants. What is the illuminate the Ur, the light that shines? The illumination is the radiance and the light that spreads from the sun. And we all can see it. We all can see the light of the Shemesh. It's daytime right now. So we all see the light of the Shemesh. We enjoy the light of the Shemesh. Meir it shines upon the land of the earth, an expanse of the universe. It's obvious that this light and this radiance is found within the Shemesh itself, because it comes from the Shemesh. So since it comes from the Shemesh, so it is a part of the Shemesh. It's also present in the very body, in the manner of the sun globe itself in the sky. And we understand that the sun, the ray of the sun comes from the sun. Actually, there's an expression, Chassidus, Ur Dovak Lamur. One of the reasons why we connect it always to Ur is always connected to the Mur, to the luminary. So the sun moves away and it becomes night. Because the sun, the ray of the sun, is always connected to the sun. Where it can spread forth and shine in such a great distance. Then certainly it can shed light to its own in its own place. So if the sun shines upon this earth, that it's daytime right now, it's surely daytime. It's surely the way in the sun itself. What happens in the sun itself? The ray of the sun. In the sun, in the sun itself, this ray is not. It's completely not. It's completely nothing. Because it's absolutely non-existent in relation to the body of the sun, the globe of the sun. Shumakar, which is the source of this light. And this radiance. In so much as this radiance and this light, because it's only an illumination. It's only illumination from the shine from the body of the globe itself. But the sun itself is much stronger and greater than its whole shine. Since the sunlight is merely an illumination deriving from the sun, it's in a state of complete nothingness while it's found within the sun's globe itself. One cannot say that in the sun, the body of the sun, there is sunlight. For the sun itself is found there. And that's it. So over there, it's the sun. It's not about what shines from the sun. It's the sun. But only in the space of the universe. Under the heavens and the earth. That where the body and the sun globe is not present, is important, the ray of the sun. And all that's seen is but the illumination that emanates from it. Baruch Hashem, it's daytime here because of the sun. And thank God the sun doesn't come too close to the earth because it's hot enough already. So if the sun would come an inch closer to the earth, we would be burning. So the sun stays in a distance very far away from the earth. And the ray of the sun, Baruch Hashem, we enjoy, and everything in the world enjoys, and the earth enjoys, and the tree enjoys, etc., etc. But they're enjoying the ray of the sun, self-understood. And it's not the ray of the sun that comes from the sun. The sun itself, it's self-understood that the ray of the sun is nothing to the sun itself. And this light and radiance appears to the eyes of all beholders as actual existence. Beautiful, it's light. The sun gives off the light of the world. It gives off the light of the world. It gives the warmth of the world. It gives a lot of things that we need in this world. But neifel of kan shem yesh bemis. And here the term yesh, existence, is daytime, can truly be applied to it. The sunlight and ray, as they appear outside the sun glow, can truly be said to exist, in so much as the sun itself is not found there. Where when it's in the source, in the body of the sun, over there, this ray is nothing. So over here, this ray of sun is unbelievable. And there's a lot of existence that has from this ray of sun. In the ray of sun, the way it's in the sun, it's nothing. So we understand the yesh v'ayin, the example, umar, the light, umar, and it's a luminary, which we think the light itself has its own reality, its own existence. But the truth is, the light of the sun that comes from the sun within the sun itself is garnished. And therefore, yesh klal, Aksham, ayin v'efes. Over there, there's nothing can apply to it. There's no such thing that within the sun, there's the ray of the sun. Within the sun itself, there's the sun. That is it. It's the sun. And it can only be called naught. The ray of the sun within the sun is nothing. Because there, the ray of the sun is naught and absolutely non-existence. For there, the only its source. Over there, the sun itself, that's the sun. Which is the luminous body of the sun. It gives light and there's nothing besides. To sum up, although the sun's rays are surely found within the body of the sun, because if there's no ray within the body of the sun, there wouldn't be a ray, it wouldn't shine on the earth. They can't be said to exist there. They are found there as a manner of non-existence, in a state in which their separate identity is utterly nullified. That which can be deemed to exist within the sun's globe can be nothing other than the sun itself. And that, Alter Rebbe is in the middle of his analogy, but as we, you guys, I said in the beginning, that it's important to understand this analogy, because again, Eir is an important word. Also, it's an important word in the creation of the world. The first day of creation, the Eibishter created Eir. By he Eir, and there was light. And that is the concept. Eir. In the Chassidus, that the first day of creation was an Eir. It was not the light of day, because the sun was not created till the third day. The Eir of the first day was Eir Havayit. The concept of Eir. The aspect of Eir Laki, the concept of Eir HaTorah, Eir Shel Mashiach, Eir of the Neshama, etc., etc. What we call Hinei Hashem Nishmas Adam, etc. The concept of light, the true aspect of light, as we express it in Eir Ein Sof, the light of God, Eir HaTorah, the light of the Torah, Eir HaNeshama, the light of the soul, the light of the world. He should be a light upon the nations, etc. The concept of Eir. And that's why it's an important, this analogy, to understand the concept of Eir and Ma'ir, the concept of the light and its illuminary, which is the aspect in this analogy, the concept of the ray of the sun, the way it illuminates from the sun. That even though that Baruch Hashem, we feel the sun and we enjoy this light, and the world enjoys this light, but this light really emanates from the sun, and within the sun, it's nothing. But nevertheless, within the sun, there's a concept of this Eir that gives the capability to shine, ultimately, to the world, and that the world should feel the beauty of this Eir. That completes the Tanya of the day. Today is the 11th day of the month, which is chapter 60 to chapter 65. And if you do those 6 chapters, you do the chitas of the day. I wish you all a wonderful and beautiful day. And Amid Shem, we'll see you tomorrow, 8 o'clock. We'll continue to learn the chitas of the day.